Hi, it's Steve from Part Select. In this video, we'd like to show you how easy it is to mix fuel for your two-stroke engine. Now, you may opt to purchase the pre-mixed fuel option. However, that's fine if you're only using the equipment one time. But if you own your own power equipment, you'll want to mix the fuel yourself because it's a much cheaper way to do that. Now, the first step in this process is to determine what the fuel ratio is for your particular piece of power equipment. By that, we mean how much oil would you mix with your fuel to get the proper lubrication. You can consult the user guide for the product. And if you don't have that, typically you'll find it printed right on the fuel cap of that particular piece of equipment. The most common ratios that you'll see today will be either 40:1 or 50:1, meaning 40 parts fuel to 1 part oil or 50 parts fuel to 1 part oil. Now, once we've determined what the ratio is going to be for fuel to oil, we'll next need the proper containers. We'll start with an approved storage container for your fuel, not just a clear jug. Find an approved container, and you may wish to mark on it somewhere what that fuel oil ratio is going to be so that you don't mix it up, particularly if you have more than one type of fuel that you're using. Now, next, we'll take a container that's marked in both imperial and metric, large enough to hold either 32 ounces or a liter of fuel, and that's what we'll use this one for. And next, we'll get a smaller container, again marked both metric and imperial, so we can have both ounces and milliliters. We'll use that for our oil. We'll also need to make sure that we have an approved two-stroke engine oil. It doesn't matter whether it's synthetic or a natural oil, as long as it's approved for two-stroke engines. So the next most important thing is to determine how much fuel we want to keep on hand. With this chainsaw, since I don't use it a lot, I think probably about 2 liters worth of fuel should last me the season. It's important that you don't let your fuel sit too long, and typically 2 to 3 months is about the average lifespan for a mixed fuel. So I'm going to measure up 2 liters of fuel. Now that we have a predetermined amount of fuel in our container, we're next going to calculate the proper amount of oil. Now, the most accurate and really easiest way to do this is simply to use the numbers in the ratio. In this case, we have a 40:1 ratio of fuel oil that we want to obtain. So we're going to take that first number, the 40, and we're going to divide it by the amount of fuel that we have. And it doesn't matter whether we're using imperial measure or metric measure. Let's say we were using an imperial measure and we have a gallon of fuel. A gallon of fuel is 128 ounces. So we'll take the 40 and we'll divide it by 128. The answer will be 0.3125. We're going to then take the second number in the ratio, which is always a 1, and we'll divide that number with the result of our first equation. So we're going to divide 1 by 0.3215. The answer to that will be 3.2, and that is how many ounces of oil we would use for a 40:1 mixture with a gallon of gas. The only issue with using imperial measure is that example, 3.2 ounces. Most containers are marked in whole numbers, so you won't find a 3.2 on there. So you have to guess a bit. By using a metric measurement, it becomes a lot easier. We'll use the exact same formula. We'll take the 40, we put 2 liters of fuel in here, so we're going to divide the 40 by 2 equals 20. Then we're going to divide the 1 by the 20. That works out to 0.05 liters, which is 50 milliliters. Any metric measuring container will be marked off in typical 25 milliliter increments. So we'll have 25, 50, 75, 100. It's very easy to find that 50 milliliter. So we'll add 50 milliliters of oil to 2 liters of gas, gives us a 40:1 ratio. Now we'll put the cap on our fuel tank and just give it a gentle shake to mix it up, and then it's ready to use. Thank you so much for watching. We certainly hope that you find it just that easy to mix your own fuel. If you have any tips or suggestions, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. For more videos on appliance repair, maintenance, and cleaning tips, be sure to visit our website. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss a thing.